Welcome to EIP Editing Office Hour. This is meeting number 77, and in this meeting we are going to include EIP plus ERC pull requests. We are joined by editor Victor, and he's gonna go through the proposals. We are also joined by a few authors who have their proposal listed for agenda today. So Victor, welcome. And perhaps we can begin with the first PR, which is 1158 on ERC repository. We have the author joined by that, and let's try to answer the questions of the authors first.
Okay, this is a ERC 20 initialization extension with Sentinel storage. And I think the intention was to include it emerge as a draft. Let me double check.
That's correct. And we are joined by the author German in case you have any question for him or if you want to quickly check anything.
Hi, German. Thanks for coming.
Hello, thanks for taking time to review my proposal.
Yes. So, an option function. Okay, let's take a look at what this function is. It's a pre-initialized address, and what is the implementation? What is the reason for that? Okay. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Which means you can preload some of the storage and save a lot of gas. Nice, and even including the recommendation implementation. Look pretty neat. Let me quickly take a look at the specialized specification. This is must store balance as mapping address to byte 32. Okay, provide a public external function.
I also provided a Solidity code already working and made tests with on-chain transactions to prove it. And also I provided a calculator to estimate in real time how much are you going to save in gas. All these links are in the Ethereum Magician post.
Okay, nice. I am a big fan of providing reference implementation. Okay, let's take a look at this with what user is for. Okay, it gives user some kind of magic number. It's a magic value.
Number is a string. This is very important because for safety and accountant redundancy, we can't use numbers because if not, we will have problems if we use one or a high number with the accountant of the token will be broken. So it's not a number; it's a string. That is the tricky part here is storing as bytes, but representing as uint for the interfaces. So it's standard. The wallets and the users shouldn't do anything new. Just this is an internal procedure.
I see. Cool. Let me see. So this user will be assigned for a magic number. And what's the relationship between, in this particular implementation, what's the relationship between balance bytes 32 and allowance? Let me see.
The implementation in general is the same. The thing here is that we are pre-initializing with a byte. It's not a magic number, it's a byte. So it's a string. And this is not interpreted never by a number. That's why this couldn't have a problem with the representation on the accountant of the token in general, with the balance, general balance and issuance, and neither with the user's balance. because this string is handled as 0 because it's 0 on number representation, a string. But in the interfaces, nothing changes. So in the interfaces, to know the balance of a user, to do transfers or whatever else, or mint, it goes to a number because a byte 32 can have a number inside. And this will work as the same than if it was a uint. So if we pre-initialize with a 0 value, we are not saving anything because 0 to non-zero costs the full gas. So when we pre-initialize with bytes, the bytes to a number cost a quarter part of gas because you already have data there and you are just reutilizing the slot. The SS storage will take like 5,000 units of gas in place of 20,000 units. And
I see.
in the implementation in Ethereum Magicians, I also wrote and published a calculator that you can use to check all the things live.
Calculator. Can you share the
Yes,
link to the calculator?
In the Magicians. Also, there
In
is
ETH
links
Magicians. Okay.
in the Magicians. There is. Should I reshare the link? Okay.
Let me see. This is the ETH Magician, right?
Yes, it is. Also, there is some discussion for a user that asked from some security concerns that were answered.
Would you be worried about overflow, data overflow?
No, there will be no chance in this case.
So let's say we happen to have a magic number that is very large in do
This is
you
generated by the implementation. It's not by the user.
yeah. This is implementation specific, right? I know. This is implementation specific, but what I wonder is, let's say someone got initialized with a big number, and then, by the way, you're only initializing one user, right? From the interface I see, this function was called with only one user, right?
If for each user, yes, in the line 19, you have where the magic value
Yes.
is created. And then you use it for every user. For every user that wants to pre-initialize, they
For
call this
every
function.
user. Okay,
Yes.
so for every user, which means if a user, let's say I haven't been the ERC20, let's say your token is called German token, and it's ERC 8003 compliant token contract. And German, your own account already has been pre-initialized. Now I'm a new person. You want to interact with me. You want to transfer some token to me. Does this function get called again, or does the pre-initialized address get called on my account as address again, or does it get called? Does it not get called? So I'm a little bit puzzled here because I couldn't see where the pre-initialized is called for every user when you say every user.
The pre-initialize is optional. So you are up to pre-initialize. It's an option. It's like let's call it a plugin, an extension, a module that if you add to your ERC20 contract, users can go in advance pre-initialize their addresses prior to a potential gas spike. So this is up to each user. It's not mandatory. Users doesn't need to pre-initialize to use it. The
It's
implementation is
optional.
completely
So
standard. It's
does
optional. It's optional for
does
each
it
user.
mean some of the user may choose to pre-initialize their address? Some may choose not to do so.
Exactly. And also, the wallets in example, if I have a wallet and wants to give a better performance for my users, I can sponsor this pre-initialization. I don't know. This opens the possibility to many use cases, but also when we will see every time more sponsoring of gas in the future, and for sure this will save a lot of costs for the ones that are sponsoring these token transfers, because they will be able to pre-initialize the addresses of the users that they are going to sponsor the transactions when gas is low. So they will be saving a lot. And if you go to the Ethereum magicians, if you let me show you something,
So
and
let
you go to
me run a quick the reason so as an editor, I'm usually not supposed to ask you technical review questions. But here I think the technical feedback and editorial feedback is slightly intertwined because we want to work together to prove that this ERC is introducing interfaces and definitions that can achieve the goal and rationale that this ERC want to achieve. For example, gas saving. So let me run a quick thought experiment in this reference implementation. Assuming German, you started out, it pre-initialize your address, which gives you a magic, right? Now,
yes,
you also get, let's say, airdropped token, let's say, happen to be 2 tokens, right? So let's say someone who already owned a token transferred to you 2 tokens. What will happen? Then this address 2 will be German's address. This number will be 2. The sender who happened to have enough balance would be able to give you 2.
yes,
Now, you are going to be swapping, the sender will be updated to its balance. We don't care. But let's focus on the presumed German address. Balance by 32 German equals to your current balance plus value, right?
yes,
Okay, and then this is a typical transfer. Now,
yes,
your number becomes magic plus 2. This is the first step. Now, the second step, when you German want to transfer to me, Victor, you make a transfer. Now, I'm going to assume you are able to transfer me more than 2 tokens, maybe 3. So
okay,
let's try to run this experiment because I actually don't know how it will play out. So now the 2 is Victor's address and the value is 3. The sender
yes.
at this point would be, the balance would be, you will be having a magic
But this is the point that is interesting.
interpreted.
Magic, sorry, yes, magic is treated as zero. Magic is
Yes,
zero. So,
magic is treated as 0, but currently the value is magic plus 2.
but when you do the maths, magic is zero because it's a string, and then disappear.
So
Here's
here's the
magic.
thing. If I run this function at this point, I'm going to read a number of magic plus 2, right?
No,
Magic number.
you just read two because magic
Oh,
disappear.
where does it, like, if I run this function, read this function, does it read out 2?
Yes, yes. Balance is not. It's not when you do the maths, the magic disappears and this start behaving as a unit. So the byte 32, when it's taken into maths,
I'm not
disappears
sure I
the
see it where it
magic
disappeared.
number.
Yeah, can you point me to the line of where that magic number get disappeared?
No, it's how it
In
works in Solidity. There is already test. This is deployed, and there is the testing transactions and also the results. This same contract and is verified on
Oh, okay.
Etherscan.
Let me
Everything
take a
is
look.
already. Yes, it's here. You have the graphs on how you save, and in the specification. If you go there, a reference implementation in the links a little down, a little up, sorry. In the Ethereum Magicians forum, yes, you go a little up. This is how you say, but a little more there, down, a little down, down. Where is the
Do you
forum?
want to,
There,
yeah, do you want
there,
to present on your side?
real testing results.
Okay.
There, real testing results.
These are only testing the gas usage, right? What I
Yeah,
want
but
to
is the contract.
check,
Is the contract. Okay.
yeah, what let me do this.
Yes.
Assuming, can you verify the ERC20 token will be able to execute the following transactions? One, mint to address Alice. Let's say address Alice 20 token to pre-initialize of Bob. Alice transfer 20 to Bob. Now Bob transfer to let's use just two because that's making it hard, very hard.
Yeah.
Transfer to 3 to attempt to transfer 3 to Charlie.
Okay. This is already tested in the transactions.
And
Exactly.
so what will happen to, in your implementation, what will happen to step 4?
Will if Bob try no will fail because Bob doesn't have 3, have
Okay,
2.
yeah, let's suppose, yeah, that's what I think too. Supposedly Bob step 4 will fail. Can you run these 4 step in your transaction, in your reference implementation deployment, and show the failure? Yeah. So basically,
Okay.
that's a technical question. Or if you already have a failure that you can like just show me on in transaction, I would be happy to take. Now, usually, just to clarify, usually I'm not supposed to be giving technical reviews because this is very specifically technical reviews. But we really want to test out that one of the implementation achieve your goal, so that this is a valid ERC definition. So can you try to do that, or do you think it would take you some more time? You can like I can go review a few ERCs and come back, or do you already have a transaction that you can show?
We can I can do it, but maybe you can go with another reviews and to don't lose minutes, and we come back in 10 minutes or when you tell
That
me
would be
at the
great.
end of the call, and I will answer properly in the forum. Thank you for this.
That's
Thank you.
nice. Okay, cool. Let me just leave a message. Uh,
I will do right now.
yeah, this is this one. Overall look like a really interesting proposal. Just one thing I want to check if the math still works in this new approach. Left a technical question common in East Magi. And yeah, please let me know when it's answered. Cool. All right. Thank you very much, German. We will make sure to prioritize once you are done executing these transactions.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now let me come back to the second one. Pooja, I will let you lead and decide which EIP I should review next.
So the next we are joined by the author for PR number 1226. So if we can perhaps take a look at
1226. Okay. And is the author on the call today?
Yes, it's John and he's on the call. Yeah.
Hi, John.
Hi, thank you for the review. Appreciate it.
Okay. So this was assigned 8033. Supposedly you already added that. I'm considering this as resolved. Positive. Oh, yeah, I left a message says we want to see if there's community interest. Someone, AI Council, oracles, important validation task. Cool. Let me take a look. Okay. Alrighty. I would check the ERC commit review and consider. Actually, no, do not choose other ERCs due to increasing complexity and then not to be constrained in meeting fee. Okay. Take a look with AI agents. Foster City. What? So let me see the rationale. What specific ERC you're saying increasing the complexity? Complexity would use does not provide a built-in review mechanism. Well, that's up for you to provide. That's intentionally left out, right? Like adding that doesn't increase your complexity because you can choose them, right? Okay, but that's your call. It would probably reduce the adoptability. Amid review, the yes was also considered but not easily applicable to the text fields and resolution flow. So, okay, I will consider that. Leave technical feedback, but this is answered and addressed. Thank you, John. Console-based resolution flow must support core flow, recruit, request create, agent commit, review, judging and aggregation, and reward distribution. Okay. Can any one of them be optional? Mm.
I don't think that any one of
Can
the options
agents,
would be optional.
yeah, can an implementation decide to allow free of reward distribution? I mean, that's for you to consider. You can say, no, definitely not. We will consider it incompliant with our ERC if you don't have it. So that's like the mindset of ERC definition. You want to allow people to adopt you as easy as possible, but also not too flexible that other people don't have the expectation. So yeah, I'm just raising this question. It's for you to decide.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, this is optional
Okay.
comment, so you don't have to worry about this.
Okay.
Let me not give it out as a suggestion. Let me give out as a question, as a quote. Actually, probably this is the best format. Yes. Okay, now the console consists of two agent roles, info agent and judge agent, two roles who aggregate and resolve consoles. We make this distinction to clarify capability and domains are represented in strings, and requests were represented in the struct of address, reward, token, bond amount, bond per. Let me see if this is clear. This is discussed. And bond is a stake to defer spam, and actual enforcement or amount is implemented specific. I'm not sure if I read this sentence. This definition is important because it explains what bond is in this context, but it's a little bit hard to understand. Can you kind of help me understand what this sentence means?
Yeah. So whenever the agents are committing their answer, there needs to be a bond. Otherwise, if the answer is incorrect, there's no negative consequence. So the bond acts as a negative consequence. If the answer that
Oh,
they give is wrong, then the bond is taken out
it's a
and
slashable
it's given
stake.
back. Yeah, essentially it's a slashable stake, correct?
Okay, I would suggest that you rephrase this sentence. It's because this sentence is a little bit hard to understand. Like,
Okay.
or amount is implementation specific. If you want to say bond is supposed to be a slashable stake, so that bad submission or malicious submission would be penalized, then I think it's okay. But if you say that it's also implementation specific, I think that is no longer explaining bond. It's saying how bond can be implemented, right? So you
I think
basically putting
the
two
intention
sentences
was
in
the
the same,
amount is
right?
implementation specific.
Right. So if I were to make suggestion here, I would say, oh, well, this is so long. Bond is a slash bow stake and agent put in to and if malicious if and be penalized if how to say that if the submission was turns out to be wrong, malicious, or let's see, yeah, and the amount of it is implementation specific, something like that, just to kind of have a comma, have a period to separate the definition and the instruction.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
leave it to you. Basically, I suggesting separating that definition of a bond from the instruction of how it can be implemented. Okay, so Okay, that's about the bond. Bond amount per agent. In this means you are very specifically saying everyone is paying for the same amount, right? Because you only provide one information.
Right.
The combine. And is that intentional?
Yes.
And that is in the discussion of rationale, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me check the rationale. Bond amount is. Oh, because everyone is an equal agent, right?
Yep.
Okay, nice. This is gonna take a little bit longer because I think this is a longer ERC and have a lot of details. Deadline. Deadline, timestamp. Do you want to specify units? Is it Unix? Is it
I mean, I
Unix
think we can leave
epoch
it open up
or
to
block?
the
Okay, then
implementation that's being specified.
yeah, in that case, you have to declare that this is implementation specific and has to be consistent across different deadline. Like the request deadline should be consistent with the unit. Define the unit or declare that it's left for the implementation. And that when you leave it to the implementation, it means two agent contract that is and two agents have to figure out, agent client have to figure out what the deadline unit is in order to interact with this in order to interact with one embodiment of your ERC. And therefore you need to have a way to communicate with them. It is okay that you decide to say that, hey, everyone communicate that outside of the ERC, maybe put your website, or you can also say, here is the thing, you can read it from this ERC. Like, do you know what do you understand? Did I make my point clear?
Yep. Yep. No, I got it. We'll make a change to it.
Yeah, so that's the definition. Like in ERC 20, the decimal was like clearly was decided to be left for implementation, but then they provide an interface for everyone to say what their decimal is. Okay, so this is the query. This is the specifications. You're going to send a lot of strings here, and then a huge nested struct. It's gonna be very fun to the parse. Okay, a lot of events. Agent requested. Agent commit. Agent reviewed. Judge selected. How is judge selected? Select randomly from a separate pool. Recommended. Distinct. Do you want to assume this is a security risk and how advise the implementer how you would suggest them to select because it's not very
Yeah,
trivial to do random. Do you
we
want to
we do
suggest?
the Randall. Yeah, we actually we go into this into the EIP. There is
Okay.
definitely discussion on how to select the judges.
Okay. A random judge. Our role-based approach. Our role-based approach. Is this approach an ERC level concept or an implementation level concept? When you say our
Uh,
approach, let me see.
so it's two different agents. So it would
Yes.
be the roles of the agents, not the ERC.
Oh, the role. Okay, so this
It's
is
separate
ERC,
pools.
right? It's separate. The ERC specifically define different role. Therefore, this approach is ERC level. Optional reputation thresholds. Okay, let me see. Okay, judge selection is an important thing. Resolution has different stage. It has finalized stage. It has failure stage. I would suggest you swap these order if you want. Supposedly resolution finalized and failure can be closer. Okay, this is a reason. Dispute initiated, dispute window opened, dispute resolved. So you're giving it a dispute approach. Now, core method, you need to implement core method. A lot of time, these different parts can be written in the format of different interfaces, you know? Have you considered that? And then you can say our interface is a union of these three interfaces, and the core, like when you declare the request creation, agent commit review, judging aggregation, and reward distribution. By the way, I think you would also need to mention the dispute in this in here, right? You have defined dispute interfaces. It's probably better to include that in these part, right? In the overview. I'm assuming this part is the overview in the specification.
Yeah, we do go into the dispute part, but sure, we can put it in the overview.
I mean, yeah, if it seems like dispute is quite important in your interface definition. So I would leave it. I would also include that. So and then you have to decide whether that's masked or not. And since you put it in, for flow, is it? How should I put in the dispute and dispute resolution process? Okay. So here's dispute. Now review commit ID, review request ID. Nonce. So is your bond paid in reward token or is your bond paid in native like ethers?
It would be up to the implementation.
And if you want to allow bond amount to be paid in reward token, then either you have to define. So here's the thing, you have to make that decision as a ERC author. If you want to leave it to the implementer, you have to call it out and provide a way for them to tell. For example, if you say I want to let everyone use their own token for bond, then do they have to be the reward token or not? What's your call?
We would like to make it open enough that if they want to make all of the reward, the bond, the same token, or if they want the reward to be in Ether and the bond to be in another token, that they have the ability to do that.
That's nice. That's very nice. That means that information had to be included in the request, right? Then you'll have to have an address of bond token if you want to make that, if you want to allow the implementer to decide that. You can also
Okay.
say, yeah, alternatively, you can also say, yeah, we allow you to use any token, but it must be the same one with reward token. That's also an option, right? But now when I see the reason why I'm raising that question is because I see the commit function has a payable mark, right? Which means, and then the comment says with bond. When most of the contract implementer read this part, I think we will think that bond is paid with the native token, ethers in mainnet, because you want to use the payable. So that's the kind of a clarity we need as a reader of your ERC. So I will leave a message of, can we clarify what token does the bond accept? Right. Does it make sense? I think I am giving a verbal comment. I'm a little bit lazy to type them out.
Yeah. Yeah, we can make the change. Thank you.
Yeah. And reveal, and okay, let me see. Because you're distributing rewards, I'm assuming these bonds should also be distributed back in the life cycle of this arrangement, right?
Yeah, that's part of the resolution.
In the resolution, bond will be distributed back. Let me make sure that is discussed. Um, Reward distribution, refund bond for Fed dollars. By the way, do you assume judge agent to be one single agent or multiple agent?
One single agent.
One single agent, then the implementation may forfeit the judge agent in what way? Oh, if it fails to resolve those in an allotted window. So the judge agents are believed to be truthful and honest no matter what.
Not necessarily, and that's why we do have the dispute mechanism, but yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Dispute. Okay. Optional extensions. Oh, right. And mm, yeah, I think that would be a better summary. Oh, okay, I'll leave this too. Security selection, collusion of bonds, fairness of random selection. of judge, so rely on the top crypto strengths of randomness in the security consideration. Okay. Okay, this is an aggregate. There's one request. The aggregate is to aggregate answers. Oh, final answer. How does aggregate work?
The judge
The
agent
judge,
will look at sorry, go ahead.
the judge will call the aggregate to submit the final answer and classify winners. Implementation must auto count reviewed votes and pick majority. In that case, does it still need a judge?
Yeah. The agents could put incorrect information.
But you also say it must auto count. So let's say judge, based on the submitted reviewed votes, there is one answer, and the judge counted it, but decide to override that answer. Is that a possible implementation in this proposal? Like, is that still considered compliant?
Yeah, I mean, we'd want to be able to make it possible that if all of the agents were saying something incorrectly, the judge would have the option to override it and say no. So yeah.
So I think I would suggest clarifying what it means to be must auto count. And also, uh, can you clarify what it means by must auto count using maybe Solidity code to that code demo to show? Yeah, because I when I read that, I'm a little bit puzzled, right? Like if it's already counted, then you don't need to pass in the answer. Or and clarify how to handle the case when judge agent believe the info agent's votes need to be overridden, right? Okay. Now we're at what step we are now. We're in aggregates. Let's see what else does aggregates will do. It will show the winners, and the winner must be the info agent. Winner for reward classification. Okay, so winner distribute these rewards to pay out correct in agent, which means such rewards must be stored somewhere. Like this will store the winner. Okay, based on config. Proportional split implement a specific ratio like judge fees, refund bonds, to correct info agents, forfeit others, emit distributed. No, it must pick, it must vote, it must count and pick majority, which means the judge will have to pick the majority. So judge cannot override the answer, I think. If you say must auto count, I'm assuming must, the word must also apply to pick, right? So I guess the question is, can judge override the votes? Question. Can judge in agent override the majority of votes? If yes, then why is must also applying to pick? Maybe must decide if to pick. If no, then judge agent cannot override the majority of votes. Then why does it need to submit final answer when such answer can and must be decided based already submitted votes? So that's my question. Do you have an answer to this? This is pure editorial. This is unclarity that can lead to two understanding.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
So in this particular, this is an important part of your proposal. You specify judge process. Judge must auto count, review votes, and pick majority. Now, the question is, can judge agent override the majority of votes? If yes, then must does not apply to pick. Judge must decide if to pick. If not, if judge cannot override the majority of votes, then the final answer should not be submitted by judge. The final answer should be like derived from the state of the contract. And there's no point having a parameter of final answer in this aggregate.
Yeah, so it also depends too if it's a discrete answer or an open-ended answer as well. So we can specify that.
Okay, I'll leave it to you to this. This is a question I think would benefit your implementer to clarify. Okay, I will move on to. I guess we're very close to time. Probably have to come back again. I think I'm like 1/3 way. I think from the logic side, I'm halfway or 2/3 way on, but for the rationale, I probably wouldn't take that long, but probably will take another time. So I wonder, Poja, how should we proceed? Should we? I want to kind of give for German some time if he's still here, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly all right. We have a couple of minutes left. German, if you have any updates to be shared.
Yes. Hello. Yes,
Yes.
I just posted all the tests and it was successful. So I think someone has to approve my reply, or my reply is on the forum already.
Let me see. Where is the link? And John, sorry to not being able to finish this review in one pass.
It's okay. Thank you.
But yeah, you have a very large and comprehensive and important ERC, so we want to like give it enough attention it deserves. Okay, let me go back to the link that Pooja posted up. Let me see. Okay.
So we're looking for magician link for that proposal, or
Yeah,
just
I'm trying to look at that magician link. It's I've been too deep into the the Agent Council Oracle review.
I just shared in the chat for your reference.
Okay. Brain overload. You have too much information in one ERC. Okay, so this is my question. Let me post. So I'm now back to the ERC 3003, 8003 on my question comment. German, have you posted your answer here?
Yeah, yes, I did, but I can't see it. Was very, very extensive and with all the tests
I
with
refreshed, I
screenshots
didn't
and
see
links.
it.
Mm, I
Can you
think
post your
it was.
test? Can you post can you post your link?
I can't see it. Maybe it went to drafts.
Oh yeah, maybe you went to draft. Can you share your
No, I mean it was for approval from someone. Maybe
I'm not seeing
I
your
don't
you
pending.
posting
It's on it's on pending.
oh, you couldn't submit the reply?
Yes, it's on
This is
pending. Here says
okay, can
Just
you
give
show
pending.
me
your
a
screen?
second. I will try to approve that.
Do we now need a
Yes.
approval for ETH Magician's reply?
Not really, but I think in this case, because they are using some address and it could be flagged by the bot that these may not.
Oh,
So now
Okay,
you should be
no,
in a position to
might
see the
make sense.
response.
I
That's
got
weird.
scared.
That's weird. That's the author. It should not be flagged if the post is flagged. Oh, because you're adding a lot of links. That's possible.
Yeah, yeah. So the bot is designed in a way that anything
Okay.
fishy should be flagged here. Yeah. So that's why it was blocked.
Bob to Charlie transfer will fail.
I made all the steps with the 3 new accounts, and
Mhm.
I added an extra step to send 2 tokens after this failure.
Insufficient. Okay. That's the Polia. Okay, that's a very interesting approach. I will probably have to study more, but that at least is a valid is a test I'm happy to see. And let me merge it as a draft for now that you have show that it would fail. So there is a way to make sure that the math works. I think you do need to clear up the some of the bot's failure, but I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Yes, yes, that bot is going every day to
Also,
to tell me
please
that I have failed.
address. Uh, okay, cool. All right. Thank you very much. And for whoever else is waiting, I'm sorry that we didn't get a chance to get to you.
Thank
For
you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Victor.
Too.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. And people, if you could not get your PR reviewed this week, we would be having another meeting on November 4th. So try to leave a comment and we'll try to include it in the agenda. But in the meantime, also, editors are taking a look at your PRs. It's not only editing office hours only. So please feel free to drop in the Discord channel, editors channel, as well as drop your link here in the agenda. And we are also organizing EIP Summit at Dev Connect. So if you are around, please stop by. It would be a good opportunity to meet editors, authors, developers, and exchange our thoughts. Thank you, everyone, once again for joining.
Yep. Bye.